Okay, so I did some stuff using Python to test to get the combat results roles, and I talked about that on LinkedIn. And let's see if I have any of the. So basically, this is what I'm trying to. This is what I'm thinking. I'm not sure if it's the right way to do it. But I want to keep, in terms of the roles, the results. So in a normalized role, 1-to-1, this is this green. If you have an attack, then if at 1-to-1, you're kind of expecting to get just an equal loss. Both opponents are the same combat rating. There's, however it results. Morale bonuses, terrain bonuses, weapon bonuses, yada yada. Whatever the results come out to be, and currently we're just looking at one number, the combat factor per unit, right? We're not taking into account any of those things, but it's all going to boil down to a ratio of two numbers. If it's a 1-to-1 attack, then it's a stalemate battle the majority of the time, and both forces lose 15%. So that's what this is saying. On a normalized roll, you're going to have 15% loss attacker, 15% defender loss. If it was a good roll, if it was, the random number generator came out to be slightly better, then in that case the defender would lose more and the attacker would lose less. And it's essentially about the same result. 30 you know 30% of all units engaged lose, 30% units lose. If it's over here, I want to kind of keep that thing, but I also want it to be such that they did better, so there's going to be more of a loss. But we always got to have some attacker loss. It's never completely clean. So there's a 5%. And then in the extreme case, which will very rarely happen, you'll have a 40% loss and a 3% loss on the attacker. So this is really an extreme case. It's not going to happen a lot, and it kind of doesn't follow that same pattern of 30% loss in general. All right, now what are we going to do if we have increased combat favorability? Say a tank is fighting some soldiers out in the open at close range, whatever. It's like a 2-to-1. Well, 3-to-1, and for now I'm just capping it at 3-to-1. I may leave it that way, I don't know. But essentially, if it's a 2-to-1 attack, I'm going to shift this to the right and keep these same results. I prototyped some of this stuff and talked with Chat GPT, and it had a lot of variants. And I've got some code here. It's in the GitHub that has this combat resolution where it has a shifted versus neutral mean. And in that case, I think he's making a non-normal distribution. As I'm playing with it, I'm kind of more like, let's get to a result so I can test it versus understanding what he's doing. And I think also some of that was because I also increased, so you would have out to like a 6-to-1. And doing that with this standard deviation, I think, is problematic. I think if you're around 17, that's if you just have 3 standard deviations. But if you change that to get to 100, this varies. So, not 100%. Anyway, let's see what else. All right, so that's kind of what we did. that was what I was doing here. And like if I run this code, this is showing attacker, defender. I can't remember what the actual in the test run I was putting, but I did test to see like if I had 1.111 to 1.01 or 0.99, did it round to 1 to 1, and it does. And then in this case it was a 1317 percentage loss. So that really, he's not really taking into this. It's like he varied it some. So that was some of the code changes in Python that happened. So with that said, then I turned it over into Swift code. So I have a new source file, this combat resolution, and I'm now using in the game scene. So let's see how it looks on an iPad. All right, so this guy it's like a half track or an armored car it has a machine gun on it. So he's unlike this guy. This is mechanized, this is motorized. This one there's units, he's motorized, right? So he can roll faster, but those units also come into play, so he has a slightly higher combat factor than the one that's a truck mounted or the one that's just on foot. Ideally, when I were to do this, it would have a car sound. For now they all have like a infantry marching line. It also doesn't take a path across the bridge. It's just moving there. He's not following the path. All right, so we still have the combat odds. So let's look at this for a second. This is an infantry, so you can see that he's really only got one up above that guy in terms of combat factor, and here he's one below. So the tank is 7, he's 6, this is 5. All right, so let's move around and not attack him. That guy attacked me and he mostly died. And let's see if I can see the numbers. It's kind of hard to read on the green. I think he's showing a 5 there. Which, yeah, okay, he's an infantry, yeah. So he's going to be, this will be 6 on 5. So he was attacking slightly below, right? Let's go over here, which should fit 1 to 1, but we got a bad roll. And that's a 1 to 1 there, right? So they both lost. And let's see if we'll just keep destroying, see if we can make sure one goes away and he doesn't appear still. See, that was a problem. That guy was destroyed, the unit was still there. So I haven't resolved that completely. Yeah. Earlier, I had a situation where this was, the unit was going away, but you could still see, like literally this guy would go away, you could move to that location as you can now, but the odds would show up, and I had a guy left over in my array. We'll see, like, he's not in the array anymore, but the unit's still there. Gotta fix it. He's not attacking me. And let's just in turn and see if they attack me. I wonder if they go away if they get destroyed. Still there. Oh, there's this in turn. Since this tank is coming over. see, did he? Looks like he's still there. Let's see if we can attack. Alright, now he's gone. And we'll see. Oh, he's gone. And is he still there? Is a ghost? Nope, now he's gone. Alright, so that's that. It's coming into play. It's got some bugs still, but it's been a long day, so I'm gonna close it at that.